Okay, so here's the latest. It's the West PS30 RDT, except it's not a PS30 RDT phono stage. I was mentioning last time that I had got this used and I had a problem with it and sent it back to the factory. I think it's James Henrietta is his name, the designer in the UK, and he suggested different options, and one of them being a complete overhaul to bring it up to spec, or at least he said the performance should be close to their latest upgrade, which is the PS40. The 30 is now discontinued, so it's a new circuit board and everything in this. It's been basically completely rebuilt and upgraded. So how does it compare to the Manley? Well, this is solid state and that's tube. I did some comparisons that I needle dropped, and listen to some Stravinsky right now, and the lyra and the gyro, and I'll try to post the needle drop at the end of this if I can. If it might kick it out of YouTube because of copyright, but we'll see if I can do that. Anyway, I think it sounds better. It's more open. There's more depth. There's more three-dimensionality. There's more air. A little bit more clarity. This is all very at the margins, but it's there. The bass, I think, is tighter. But again, just marginally. I mean, the Manley is a great phono stage. In fact, I've got it over here now, and I'll probably be looking to sell this at a very cheap price because I had a problem where I stripped some of the screws. Like this screw in here was, I think, stripped, and you know, there's a couple minor cosmetic things. The button in the front, I think, is chipped, and there's a minor, I feel like I'm selling it now, but some scratches on top here. But it's got new tubes, or relatively new tubes from Uptown Audio, nice ones, new old stock, not cheap, and it sounds amazing and is a perfect working order. So basically, if someone's going to be willing to deal with the issues with getting the cover off and the screws that were, I just don't know that I can do that. Screw head that was stripped. They're going to have a nice phono stage at a very cheap, discounted price. But we'll see how that goes, because I'll probably be sticking with the West, and hopefully someone will take this and you know, someone a little more industrious than me, or maybe I'll have to deal with sending it to Manley to have them deal with that, but I'd rather not. So that's where we are right now. Everything is sounding pretty nice, and the next step is looking to get a new record cleaner, because this thing is a disaster. This record, I think it's the Record Doctor. It's the one that's for $200 where you manually turn it. It leaves more crap in the grooves than it cleans. So I'm pretty unhappy with this. If someone else can make it work, that's great. I can't. I've tried to really, you know, to vacuum stuff for a very long time. It only helps a little bit, but you know, the amount of time you have to sit there and vacuum, I think, ends up being a little bit absurd. So I'm going for a cavitation device. I'm looking at the new Kirmus, I think it was, I don't know, it's RAC1, whatever the thing that was Mike Fremer just posted a video on. Someone was selling that used already for a little discounted price, so I picked it up. So that I should be getting that soon. So I'm looking forward to using the ultrasonic cavitation and seeing how that helps. I do like the idea of it. It seems fairly straightforward, and just cleaning it with a brush and what they call a surfactant. Anyway, we'll get into that at a different later date. Oh, I don't think I should. Down here, slumming it, is a Blue Sound Node 2, which I picked up fairly recently to stream. I have Tidal. I don't know if I'll keep it, but I've got it for now. I hardly use it, I gotta be honest with you, because I'm a vinyl person. But I got it because I thought I should have it, and to, maybe check out some new stuff or stuff that I don't have. Seems good to be able to stream. But I've also got an Amazon subscription, so I don't really think I need Tidal. I'm not really listening to this for sound quality. I've done some comparisons, and my vinyl rig sounds so much better than this. I know it's not a fair comparison, but because there's a lot more money in this. But be that as it may, I'm not really listening to it for sound, so probably Amazon's going to be enough for me. Alright, so let's go over and take a look at some records. Okay, let's see what's first up. Les McCann. This is my first Les McCann album. So much less. From, I'm guessing, around 1969. Maybe it's second pressing? I don't know what it is. It's 1841 Broadway. Anyway, very nice sounding record. I like this a lot. It's different. It's not any reinventing any wheels for jazz, but it's just really, really nice. It is not saccharine either. It's just not, just not incredibly edgy. But it's interesting, and it's very enjoyable, and so I would highly recommend it. It's a Sarah Vaughan album. Sassy Swings the Tivoli. Copenhagen concert. I listened to side 1, which was very nice. She's in good form here, vocally. So, look forward to listening to side 2 of this. But becoming a pretty big Sarah Vaughan fan, and that one is pretty nice. Here is Bill Withers' album Menagerie, which I'm trying to think of the other Bill Withers album, the more famous one that I have that's really good. You would know it. You can look it up. It was only, I think, like a few albums that were real popular. One that had big hits on it, Ain't No Sunshine. Anyway, this one's got Lovely Day on it, which was the hit off this from '77. Yes. And it's really good. Really, really nice. He's a great singer. Oh, look, Ray Parker plays guitar on this album. And Lovely Day is a great song. And everything here, again, very nice sounding, very well produced record. And if you like that sort of 70s R&B, with the smoother side, Bill Withers is great. It's another one of those things I bought and I forgot that I had. Except this is mono and I've got a stereo. And they both sound pretty good. I think I'm keeping the stereo, and I'm probably going to end up selling this. This is the mono. I got it listed on Discogs for $20 or something. Really good album. Anthony Phillips, first guitarist of Genesis. This is part of his Private Parts and Pieces collection. There was a few of these albums. Um, I think there were, I think he did a few of these private parts things, just basically home recordings or at least recordings that were not available anywhere else, and they're mostly instrumental. Um, I like this guy. I like was it Geese of the Ghost and Wise After the Event. Um, it's a sort of English pastoral. So the stuff that Genesis was doing early on, that sort of more English pastoral, proggy music. This is even. It's got that pastoral element to it, but it also, it's got a classical element too. So, yeah, it's pretty good. I listened to it once, and it's not as good as those other albums, but it's good. This is a nice one, a Mercury stereo of Bartok's The Wooden Prince. I've already talked a lot about Bartok and how much I love him, and this is great too. And as usual, a very nice sounding album on Mercury. I think I might have these other ones too, with Antel Dorati conducting. So that's really good stuff. This is, how do you say it? Groffe. Grand Canyon Suite. It's got this weird thing on, I think it's side 1. By the way, I don't think I'd heard the Grand Canyon Suite, and I liked it a lot. It's a living stereo. And it's got this weird thing on I think side 1 during Wellington's victory. It's a weird, severe stereophonic effect. Like they mixed some percussion all to one side and then to the other side. It's like a completely unnatural classical recording, like you've never really heard. I think it was an experiment. Fortunately, not a long-lived one, because it's. I don't want to, if I want to listen to that kind of stuff, I'll listen to Eye on the Walrus or something. But on my classical music, I like it laid out in a nice sound stage. But anyway, Grand Canyon Suite, I'd known about it, but not heard it, and I really was digging it. Another Mercury, Living Presence. This is Handel's Water Music, which I don't think I had heard, or at least, I'd heard probably in my lifetime, but not identifying what it was. I listened to it. Oh, yeah. Very good. So anyway, can't go wrong there. Here's one. It's a good one I could recommend. Leapin' and Lopin' by Sonny Clark. This is one of the new Blue Notes, which I haven't bought a lot of since I scooped a lot of them up. I've been trying to get the Music Matters and some of the other stuff. But I picked this one up. This is one of the better sounding new digital cut Blue Notes that I've heard. It's a great album too, really great music, and one of the best sounding of the new digital series. So I don't know what was different on this one, or what's going on, or quite frankly, I haven't listened to a lot of the stuff on the new phono stage, so maybe I go back and listen to the other ones and they sound a lot better, but this struck me when I listened to it. So highly recommended. Here I picked up a couple of these. This is a Blue Note. I'm going to say it's from the mid-'60s, before Liberty Records, but it's not Micro Groove. But it's Prayer Meeting. Jimmy Smith and Stanley Turrentine. I don't know about organ. Not my favorite thing. I've got a few of the Jimmy Smith albums, and they're all good, but it's not the first thing I reach for, to hear some good jazz organ. But, that being said, this is pretty good. Or it's really good. And I like Stanley Turrentine too, so some nice sax on there. Best of the Beau Brummels. Sort of an overlooked band. They've got, this is decent. This is, it's got Laugh Laugh. That was their big hit. And then I think there's a couple things I recognized from Triangle, which is really, you may have heard it, that's an overlooked gem from the 60s. It is. I highly recommend it. And actually, they had an album, I think in the 70s. I'm not going to remember what it's called. It might have just been called Beau Brummels, but that was pretty good too. It's got a tinge of country sort of coming into it, but at least that's how I would describe it. So, I have a few Beau Brummels albums, and they're pretty good. Triangle's the one to get. Big Spiderback. Not much to say about this. It's old school. And great in that old school way. I mean, just classic 20s jazz, and of course, he's one of the greats. Mystery to Me, Fleetwood Mac. Bob Welch era Fleetwood Mac. This was pretty good too. I like Bare Trees. These are my favorite of the Macs. And of course, I think we just lost Danny Kerwin, right? But I did like this. It's all pretty appealing. Nothing really stands out. Like on Bare Trees, the way what is it? Sentimental Lady, I think, which he later remade into a big hit with Christine McVie singing backup. That's an amazing song. But a lot of that album is really good, and this is good too. So, if you're a Fleetwood Mac fan, again, it's a different era of Fleetwood Mac, but it is good stuff. This, I don't know how I lived with this without this all my life. 801 Live, this is sort of, Phil Manzanera's the main driver here, but, Eno is also, is all over this record, big player. Just in the sound of this thing. And it's got covers of Tomorrow Never Knows and You Really Got Me, and Baby's on Fire is on here, and great Manzanera songs. So this was pretty terrific. If you don't know about it, you should. What can you say about this? I didn't dig into side 2 yet, but fairly confident that it's going to be as awesome as side 1. She was really cooking at this stage. This is 1969, and sort of probably close to the end of her, I would say, her golden era, Aretha Franklin. But anything from that period, is great. Yo-Yo Ma, Sansen Cello Concerto, concertos, digital recording, but decent. It's early digital recording, but sounds decent. Nothing really blew me away here, but just something I'd probably pull out every once in a while and listen to. Here's a weird one. Tim Hollier, Message to a Harlequin. This is one of those that I just sort of saw it, and I usually look up in all music, what is these supposed to be any good? And it's got a decent review. So I said, what the hell? It was in Philly. I picked up a lot of these things on a trip to Philly. That's why I've got so much stuff, because when I'm away, I'll pick up a lot of stuff because I figure I'm not going to be around there that often, so I better get what I need to get. Message to a Harlequin was a very good song. The rest of it, nah. Again, I don't think I got into side 2 yet, but sort of from the psychedelic era, folkadelic. I don't know what you'd call it, but I'll classify it interesting. I don't know if that's a big seller for you. Kind of dig the John Lewis on Atlantic here. And I believe, it's in Green Atlantic. and this was not in the greatest shape. I'm looking forward to giving this a real hardcore deep cleaning when the cavitation comes in and see what I can get out of it, because the music was good. So look forward to hoping this cleans up a bit. Here's one that's kind of a mixed bag. Father and Gay, which was this group that Sandy Denny joined, I believe, right before Fairport. It's very Fairporty. In fact, the guitarist and vocalist definitely has a. There's one track on here I could have sworn it was Richard Thompson playing guitar, and even singing, but I see no evidence of him being on this record, so apparently not. But I'm just like, this is exactly in the style that he plays, which I really like. But anyway, the sad thing here is that you can't see it, but side one of this has got some major pressing flaws, which I did not notice. And they put a grating on the inner sleeve, which of course I didn't see. So not even sure they charged me the right amount on this. And I'm really pissed because this is a really good record. I was definitely getting into it. And side 2 plays perfectly well, and it otherwise sounds great, but it's really good. I'd really highly recommend it. Just maybe take a close look at it before you buy it. I bought it because I figured it was pretty rare. You never see it. And I kind of got the short end of the stick on that one. But I'll play around it. I'll play around the pressing flaws because I like it that much. This was a newer pressing of Montgomery Land. Decent stuff. DOL. So it's manufactured in Europe. These can be pretty good. This one's decent. Sound-wise. Nothing to write home about. Chet Atkins, Me and My Guitar. Chet Atkins is amazing. Amazing guitarist, and I'm just, I play guitar, so I could probably listen to him all the time, do almost anything. And he makes interesting choices for a predominantly country picker. So I like this. Maybe you have to be a guitarist to really appreciate it. I don't know. But if you like solo guitar, well, it's not just solo guitar. If you like guitar, period, Chet Atkins is great, and that one's good. I didn't listen to this too much. The Blue Yusuf Lateef. Not sure what kind of shape this was in either. It's another 1841. Trying to remember. This one had some sort of odd stuff on it. Yeah, modern plain song. This is a very unusual record, but I'm looking forward to listen to it again because I like weird stuff, and this has got some weird stuff on it. Oh, another great sounding record. Dvorak's Cello Concerto. Oh, yeah, Violoncello Concerto. Starker on cello. Again, Dorati and the LSO. And this is on Mercury. Living Presence. Yeah, it's from the Temple University Library, my alma mater. Very cool. Anyway, great stuff. And check this out. Got this again because this is a microgroove Blue Note, and this is a really good album which I have on the new issue. But I saw this and sort of had to pick it up. Another one I'm looking forward to get a deep cleaning into. It wasn't in the greatest of shape, but it was okay. But hopefully maybe it'll clean up a little bit better. But that's just neat to have because you don't see those microgrooves that often. It's in mono. A lot of the original Blue Notes I have are in mono, which I prefer the stereo, but hey, you don't see these taken when you can get them. So that's the Har Silver Quintet, by the way, in case blowing the blues away, in case you didn't know. And that is it. So until next time, see you later.